Hi guitarists, I wanted to explain how learning the letters along here, the notes on the fretboard, can help you. And I'm not going to do a really deep video on this, I'll do that later, I'll do a more lengthy video on it. But learning the notes on the fretboard is one of the most helpful things in order for everything else that you learn with the guitar theoretically to make sense. Because if you know where all the notes are, then you can visualize what's going on. If you don't, it's like you're just guessing, it's just blank. And a lot of piano players know, if you ask them what note they're playing, they know if it's an A or a B or a D or whatever. And so guitarists, really, I think it's helpful to do the same. So this string is the E string, and if you don't know those yet, E, A, D, G, B, E, I'd go and learn those. But this is for those of you that are kind of at the stage where you know a few of the notes, or kind of know how it works. So you've got the strings there. As you go along, it goes up alphabetically: E, F, G, A. The gaps in between are the sharps and the flats. So on a piano, the white keys are A, B, C, D, F, G. The black keys are the sharps in between. So it'll go A is the white key, A sharp is the black key. Again, I'll do a video later on why that is and where it originates and all that. But if you know that's E, F, we'll just go natural notes. G, A, B, C is always right next door to that, D, and back to E again. So 0 and 12 are the same. Okay. Now how this helps, if you're doing, say, a power chord, many guitarists learn that one at a time, or they might just know that's called an A because their friend told them that. Or they've played a song and it's got G5 in it, so they know that's a G5, but that's it. They don't know any other ones along there. There's a system to it. So the power chord, the actual name for that, it's called a fifth. It's a type of interval. So an interval in music is a gap between two notes. Think of it like this: if you were a doctor and you're monitoring a heartbeat and there's gaps of a second between the beats, those are intervals of a second, right? It's an interval, just means a gap. So in music, if you have the note A and you have the note E, A, B, C, D, E, that's 5. You count the first letter as 1. So A, B, C, D, E is 5. So that gap there that you're playing with the two notes, that's called a fifth. That's A to E. You could get A to D, and that's called a fourth. A, B, C, D is 4. A to C is a third. Musicians know that there's different types of thirds and things like that. Again, that's not the point of this video. We can talk about that later. But just for now, know that you get fifths, fourths, thirds. And that, when you hear singing, where people are doing background vocals, like you could think of the Ronettes or the Supremes or an old barbershop quartet, where you have the singer singing and the other person harmonizes with them. It sounds really nice. Well, they're not always singing the same note. What they're doing is the first singer sings an A, and then the next singer might sing an E. Again, the fifth, A, B, C, D, E. So the next singer sings E, and they keep that gap as they sing. That has that really nice barbershop quartet harmonized sound. But you can hear that in things like Alice in Chains, or John Frusciante with Red Hot Chili Peppers does some awesome backing vocals. So guitar-wise, you can use that for solos with one guitar playing, starting at an A, the other guitar might start at an E, and they harmonize. Something like For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, you can hear some harmonized parts in that. But getting back to this, the whole point of it is, when you do a power chord, you're doing the fifth, because that note there and this other note that you play in it are 5 apart. Not 5 frets, but 5 letters. So this note here is an A, and that note there is an E. If you look at a diagram of all the notes, you'll see that's an E. So that's A to E is 5. That's a fifth. It's starting at A, so it's called a A5. Now, you might be at the stage where you need to take more time on those things first. Just have a look at a diagram on Google, online, of notes of the guitar. Try and learn the thick string. But this is for students that kind of know what the notes are, but don't really know what for. Okay, so now you've just knowing that, though, you've unlocked all of the fifths. And that's a A5. If you want a G5, all you have to do, go down to G, do the fifth, which is the power chord, because they're 5 apart, 5 letters. Okay, go to G, and because you're doing a fifth at G, it's called a G5. So wherever you started is the letter at the beginning that you say. Okay, so if I want B5, and it's easy, just go up to where B is, and that's a B5. D5 would just be at D, it's a fifth, D5. So you got all of them. If you want a weird sounding one like A flat 5, just go to A flat is back one. A flat 5, it's still a fifth, but you're at A flat, so it's called A flat 5. Now the good thing about this system is, once you've unlocked all those power chords, it works for other chords. For example, that chord there, some of you might just know that as a G major bar chord from a song, but if you know that shape and you keep it, you've actually unlocked all of the major bar chords along that string. Because if you want an A major in that way, you just keep the major chord shape with your hand, but move along to A, and now you've got A major. If you want B flat major, B flat, that's a major chord, it's at B flat, so B flat major. Now you've got all of them. B major, F sharp major, D major, F major. Okay, so again, comes back to knowing these notes, and that will unlock everything else for you. But really important, just take your time with it. So first step is to learn the strings, what they're called first, and then take your time learning the one string. You don't need to rush on to the other strings, just get that one solid first. Okay, and this was just a quick video, like I said, to show you why, or one of the reasons why they're helpful. Also for starting a 12 bar, if you want to do it in the key of A, you start at A. If you want it in the key of G, just start at G. So there's many reasons why knowing the notes is helpful, and I'll do some more in-depth and thought-out videos later. I just thought I'd quickly share this with you, so I hope that helps anyway.